All right, folks, it is time for another episode of Remodelers on the Rise. I was just looking in my Apple iTunes thingy-majigger or Apple Podcasts the other day, and I think it's getting close to 250 episodes of this. You just keep doing them week in and week out, and all of a sudden it starts to add up. Um, and I have a guest with me today. I was just asking Joaquin. When was the last time we spoke? And it's probably been 10 plus years. But I feel like we still know each other pretty decently because of the beauty of social media, seeing your posts and what you're writing popping up. And I have Joaquin Erazo. He is the marketing strategist for Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen. I almost messed that up earlier and said Dreammaker Kitchen and Bath, but no, 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 no. Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen. And Joaquin, thanks so much for joining us today on the
Thank,
Remodelers on the
thank
Rise
you for
show.
having me, Kyle. Always a pleasure. I do feel like I
You
know
bet.
you well because
Eh,
I watch hundreds of your podcasts, couple hundred.
Oh my. Oh my. That's a lot. That's a lot of my voice. Um, and Joaquin had, I don't know if we kind of mutually connected here recently. And Joaquin has been in the remodeling industry for a good amount of time now. And in particular, has a specialty around the marketing side of things. And I would say if we were recording this, here we are. Just getting into June 2023. If we were recording this in 2021 or even early 2022, a lot of you remodelers listening to this podcast would kind of be like, marketing. I don't need any marketing help right now. I've got more leads than I can handle, and things are just ripping and roaring, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel as far as signing work. But over the last 6, 9, maybe even 12 months, I have, in my coaching and working with remodelers, have heard a little bit of a shift of, maybe I should pay a little more attention to this marketing side of things again. Things aren't quite as hip and happening as they were. So that's what Joaquin and I are going to dig into is talking about, hey, you're a remodeler. Here's what seems to be working right now. Here's where your mind should be focused when it comes to marketing. So before we dig into that, Joaquin, could you give just a little brief synopsis of your kind of career and your experience on the remodeling side? And then we're going to get talking about how do we generate wonderful leads.
Yeah. Again, thanks for having me, Kyle. Yeah, I joined. I came to the industry in the late '90s. I was the head of marketing for Case Design Remodeling for 14 years. I was the chief marketing officer. It's a design build firm based in Washington D.C. with several satellite offices, doing over $50 million. I was there 14 years, then decided it was time to go off on my own, launched an agency called Marketing Wing and ran that for almost 10 years. And through that period, one of my clients of 8 years under Marketing Wing was a marketing consulting company specifically for design, build, and kitchen and bath companies. So one of my clients,
Hmm.
Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen, they were one of my clients for 8 years, and had an opportunity to join
One
them.
of your clients or one of your favorite one of one of
one
your
of my
clients or one
favorite,
of your favorite clients,
one
Joaquin?
of my favorite clients.
Oh,
Shh, you're gonna get me in trouble.
I know. He
And
may he may have mentioned that, but that's okay.
I joined them full time November of last year, and really excited about
Hmm.
the future at Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen.
Awesome. Very cool. And kind of your role, what are you doing week in, week out for them?
I'm the marketing strategist, so my role is spread across a couple different areas. Part of my role is franchise recruitment, is on the marketing side, trying to attract quality candidates to the Dreammaker franchise system, and the other part of my role is supporting the existing franchisees. Spend a lot of time with first year franchises, getting them up and going, making sure their first year marketing strategies, marketing plans
Sure.
are tight, as well as their marketing budget, and they're executing it. And then existing franchisees in three areas: client acquisition, which is lead generation; client retention, because certainly in the kitchen and bath space, we like repeat clients and referrals; and certainly branding,
Yeah.
just making sure that Dreammaker is top of mind with everybody in those individual markets.
Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. So I was hinting at it a little bit when we were opening there of, whether we call it post COVID or after COVID, or just middle of 2022, it does seem like we've seen a bit of a shift in number of leads, perhaps even quality of leads. What have you seen from your seat, and how has this kind of impacted remodelers?
Yeah, great observation, Kyle. Yeah, it like you said before, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. Through the COVID
Yeah.
years, remodeling was hot. I mean, everybody's lead times were extended. People were waiting in line, waiting for first appointments, design agreements, all of that. And now that the country has reopened, people are back to traveling. So, the
Mm,
target, remodeling isn't top of mind anymore. They're looking at new cars, looking at European vacations, looking at family get-togethers again. So it's harder. It's harder to get the phone to ring, is what we've seen. The demand is still there. Probably the biggest impact that I've seen is the shifting in behavior. So as remodeling
mm,
business owners need to shift their behavior and say, oh, the phone isn't going to ring automatically. People aren't going to hit the website and complete my forms. I need to roll up my sleeves and do a little bit of work. But overall, I don't see things as being bad. I see things back at 2018, 2019 levels. So same
mm,
plan or similar plan, certainly different messaging. But yeah, it's 2018, 2019 all over again, just a little bit harder.
mm. The messaging, I might want to kind of circle back to that here shortly. But
Yep.
to your point, and for the remodelers listening to this, what you're hearing there is, yes, as the owner of your business, or as the office manager of your business, or whoever wears that marketing hat, which we would argue, Joaquin and I would argue, everybody in your business
Yes.
is wearing the marketing hat. We all have contributions to make. But as the primary person responsible for marketing, it's been easy to market your remodeling business. You've looked like a stinking genius the last 2, 3, 4 years for a lot of people listening. It's just been very quite easy. And what we need to realize is, because things are slowing down a little bit, like Joaquin was saying, and I agree, it's not all doom and gloom. There's still good
Yeah.
work out there, but we need to put some focused, intentional effort towards making sure that we have a clear marketing plan, and that we're executing the marketing plan, that we're funding and putting some money into our marketing and advertising, and that we're doing it consistently. We're still in a wonderful market. We're still in a and lots of opportunity out there, but we need to put our marketing hat on a little bit more regularly. I'll circle back to the messaging here in a second, in a little bit,
Yeah.
but just in general, when you think of as a marketing strategist, what mistakes are you seeing remodelers that making, kind of when it comes to approaching their marketing?
Oh gosh. A couple of things. Not enough money behind
Where do
marketing.
I begin? He says. Mm,
uh, Oftentimes, when somebody says, my leads are light, I say, okay, let's look at what you're doing. And there's just not a lot going on. It's not enough to just have a website, a little bit of Google paid ads, and things work. You really need to think through your marketing plan and make sure that you're spending the money where you need to spend the money overall. The other big mistake, and I hope everybody gets this, we certainly spend a lot of time in Dreammaker talking about this. It's a little bit on the messaging side. It's not about you, it's about them. So many
mm,
remodelers are pounding themselves on the chest saying, we do this and we're great and our team. And through the consideration funnel at the top of the funnel, that's not what it's about. It's about them, their needs, their wishes, their desires, their aspirations. It's their home. We're simply a means to renovate that, to make those dreams come
mm.
true overall. So messaging is a big issue that I feel like they need to get that right.
So hit us with a little practicality on there. A lot of times, so one, if you go to your website and you look at it through the lens of a prospective homeowner and clients, number one, look to see how much us and our and my team and our company versus the focus on them. So give us an example of, a lot of you are going to have this type of line or two or messaging on your website, and what you need to do is kind of flip that around, and this is what it should be more like. Give them an example of that.
Yeah, sell the problem you solve. So the
Mm,
first thing that I would do on someone's homepage is look to see if I see the word we. or us or anything like that. I'd like to flip that on its head and talk about everything that has to do with what their needs are. So if you've been thinking about making your girlfriends jealous with the new kitchen, so you really want to
Hmm.
plant those seeds. The other thing that I love, and again, looking at a website, since you selected website, I like storytelling. So even those static galleries of the beautiful after photos that you have, people see that. Oftentimes, the homeowner might think, "Yeah, that's beautiful, but they can never do that in my house." And guess what? You can. You can do that in any house. So really telling the story of Joaquin and Lisa, love their neighborhood, they love their home, but the kitchen wasn't functioning anymore. It was tight, so they contacted us, and we were able to help them, make the selections, and go through the entire transformation. But replace your gallery for stories, just kind of case studies of what the
Mm,
transformations that you've done. That's what people want to see. Uh, and certainly use channels like social media. That's the, one huge gift that COVID gave us is we spent a lot of time on social media. So we're used to spending, time countless hours on social media. So really leverage your social media channels to tell those stories, showcase those transformations. The other thing is just capturing those reviews. If you can get two homeowners sitting in their kitchen talking about what a wonderful, idea it was to transform this kitchen, and it was worth every single penny, that's going to go a long way. It's just the power of reviews. People believe more the
yeah.
advice of strangers than anything that we in marketing could ever tell them, right? They'll just believe that. And
Yep.
we do that every day. We go on
So,
Amazon, we read reviews. So it's got
yep.
a lot of power.
And we realize when we start paying attention, we realize how often we are looking at reviews, and that's making a major impact on our purchasing decisions. So, the mistakes that a couple that you just highlighted there, mistakes that remodelers are making is one, it's way too much about we and us versus you, the homeowner. So,
Yeah.
practical speaking, pull up your website, pull up your homepage. How are you doing with the focus of your messaging being on them? And like you said, their needs and their wishes and their desires. And then secondly, yes, that beautiful finished project is very nice, but every project that you post, you need to put the story behind it. And Joaquin gave you a basic outline. What problems were they experiencing? What were they trying to solve? What did we recommend? And how did it turn out? Do not overthink it. Just more stories and more examples
Yeah.
can go a long, long ways. You said replace your gallery for stories, more stories, stories. Let's say it again: stories, stories, stories. Facts tell, stories sell. Make sure that you're creating your
Yes.
messaging around stories. Wonderful. So those are very practical. And you were starting to hint at, what marketing strategies do you feel are working well still? Maybe unpack a few more examples of, what else are you seeing that's working well? If you're a remodeler and we're talking about marketing, folks, do more of this. What's this?
This probably two things. One thing that might scare everybody is focus on a niche. Less is more. And again,
Mm,
I see so many people that are like, okay, I'm a remodeler, I'm a general contractor, but what do you really do very well in terms of scope of work? And who do you do it for? I mean, those are two things. So I would much rather, in all my 20 plus years of marketing, I don't care about the quantity of leads, I care about the quality of leads. And I want to be known as, when it comes to a kitchen, Dreammaker, I'm the one that does best. That's my specialty. It's like almost like going to a surgeon.
mm,
They are the people. If you want your kitchen done, you want it done right, it's this. There's a fear of, oh, if I go towards a niche, I'm going to lose all this other work. The numbers in all my years of doing this, it works out better to focus on less. And that might be two-story additions, it might be pop-ups, it might be siding, windows, roofing, exterior curb appeal, outdoor kitchens, and the list goes on and on and on. But you can position yourself as an expert and radically differentiate yourself from any local competitors by doing that.
mm. So you people, you had to listen to what he said there. This is somebody that you're talking to two guys with, I don't know, what do we have combined, 172 years of marketing experience for remodelers, Joaquin?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds about
something like
right.
that. You're talking to two guys with a lot of experience in marketing, and what he just said is, out of everything in my years and years of doing this, I know it might scare some of you. I know it sounds a little contrary. Specialize, niche down. Every
Yeah.
time we've done it, every time I've seen it done, it has been beneficial. Do not be all things to all people. You would not be listening to this podcast of me talking if I wasn't a specialist working with
Yeah,
remodelers. Hello,
absolutely.
right?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Specialists are more valuable to the ideal client. So whether that is kitchens, whether that is bathrooms, and I would echo what you're saying is we fear that none of these other leads are going to come to us. Hey, I see that you specialize in kitchens, but we kind of were referred to you. Plus, we've seen your website. Do you guys do bathrooms as well? You'll still receive those.
Yes.
You are not shutting it down, but good marketing attracts the right client and repels the wrong client. And doggone it, when you get into your job costing, there are projects that you do and that your team is set up for where you are way more efficient, profitable, and yes, efficient and profitable. And you might be wise to narrow down your scope. That's a good one. Thank you.
Absolutely.
What's another one?
Yeah, the other one that I would
Everyone's
encourage
working.
people to consider is I've coined this phrase called digital plus. So most remodelers, digital marketing is working. So whether it's SEO, getting on the map pack, being found through the right keywords and the right geography and the right scope of work gets people to the website. But it's not enough to do digital. And I'll include social media in that. You really need to complement your digital marketing with traditional media. And again,
Hmm.
today, and here's another gift: direct mail. You know, the mailboxes have gotten really thin, and there's not a lot of people in those mailboxes. But here's what I've discovered: is you can integrate digital with traditional. So when you do direct mail, don't do the typical direct mail postcard or a mailer. Add a QR code with a link to a
Mm-hmm.
landing page, and that will, and then make that QR code go to a story of a transformation. So give them more information. So you're using the traditional media, traditional, whether it's a print ad or direct mail, to drive them to a landing page to tell them more of that story. So radius mailing is a great example, Kyle. So if you're doing a project, again, a beautiful kitchen remodel in a neighborhood, when you do the radius mailing, it's not, hey, pardon our dust, we're in the neighborhood, is show them the before photos, show them the CAD drawings of what it's going to turn into and what they wanted to accomplish in that QR code. So when they go there, that's your storytelling. And then you're building that
Hmm.
over and over and over again and just building out your website project by project, little by little, so it all works together. I'm a huge fan of
Hmm.
repurposing. So you do
Yeah.
something once.
Repurposing it.
Yes.
Yep. And then we've got the story angles coming back again too. When you send them to that page, tell them the story, story, story. You keep emphasizing that.
And once you have the page developed, now that's part of your email marketing to your past clients and to your database. You use that in lead nurturing so you can
Yeah.
show them the transformation again.
I received this in the mail yesterday. That's why I stepped up. Scan
Uh,
here
Yeah.
to request a quote. It's a little tree trimming company. The other thing that really caught my attention, which I like, call or text. For me
Yeah.
personally, let's start the process by texting. I that works. It just works better for me. And if they
It
have a
does.
process they can walk me through, that'll work wonderfully. But this was the right message at the right time. I have called two tree trimming companies in the last 2 weeks, like literally 2 weeks ago. Both of them referred to me. Both of them have not called me back one iota. I get this in the mail. Hot, bada bing, bada boom. They're going to generate a lead from their
There you
direct
go.
mail.
It's
Proof
really
that
that
perhaps
simple. That
yes.
is me.
And
That's
it's the
awesome.
consistency of it. And it's
And
yeah.
it's not
And
hard
it's
to
the
execute.
investing in it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I said it's not hard to execute. It's awesome that you had that example handy. So
Yeah.
digital
Yeah.
plus.
Now
So it's not enough to just
this was
rely on
my
digital,
if I say
adding it.
digital plus, do I have to pay you a quarter every time or how does
No,
this work?
no, you don't. No.
Okay. I
It's
didn't know if
free
you had
for
it
you.
trademarked.
I do
Um,
not.
good. So yeah, so digital plus. This was supposed to be my wife's Mother's Day gift was trimming the trees around the property. But here we are. We're 2, 3, 4 weeks removed from Mother's Day, but we're gonna get it done. The honeydew list will get done. Good.
It'll be
Um,
it'll be Father's
so
Day.
next thing next year. Yes, exactly. Next thing I'd like to go to. So we've got some marketing strategy of what's working well. We talked a little bit about areas that sometimes remodelers are missing the boat. What I want to talk about next is a little bit of technology related items. So two areas, and you can go the direction you like. One, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are on AI and Chat GPT, and how you've been playing with that, and if you're a remodeler, what you might consider doing with that. Or you can next go into just overall kind of marketing tech stacks. What are remodelers using to technology wise to enhance their marketing? You can go either direction with that, whichever one you want to go with.
I'm excited about both of those topics. I'll start with Chat GPT.
Oh,
I have spent a lot
okay.
of time playing around with it. I'm on GPT-4, so I'm actually paying on the GPT side just to see what it does. And I'll tell you what not to do with it. Don't have it write blogs and generate content and copy and paste that to your website. That's I'm sure you've heard it before, but I just want to underline that again. Um, there are
Hmm.
some nice ways to using prompts. Prompts is what GPT that what you put into the Chat GPT just to get something going. I have used it for prompts for blog topics. Asking Chat GPT, give me 5 bathroom design remodeling topics with architectural elements in mind. So you do have to be very specific, and I would even add the tone
Hmm.
with a professional tone, and see what it delivers to you. And it'll give you the topics. And from those topics, if you're not happy, just ask for it again. But that should be the source of inspiration. You're like, oh, I didn't think of tile, color, pattern, and layouts. That's a really good topic. Let me write
Hmm.
about that. So then you go, and so it just kind of sparks something. And I was just at the Qualified Remodeler Fast conference, and I probably heard the best application for Chat GPT. So I'm going to share that again with everybody here. So that is again on your blog, on your website, or something like that. You could say, we at Dreammaker, we asked Chat GPT, how much should it cost to remodel a kitchen? And here's what it said. And you can paste that and then add your own commentary underneath that. So you're not
Hmm.
hiding, you're being fully transparent to the reader, and you're using, and it shows that you're on point. You're with the times. You're using Chat GPT, and you're curious, but you're adding your own perspective to it. You're adding your own
Hmm.
opinion
I like that.
along with it. So that's a great
And what
takeaway.
and what
Probably
is your what is
go ahead.
go ahead.
I said that was probably my best takeaway on Chat GPT is to be open, honest, and transparent. We asked Chat GPT, you know, what were some of the best appliance trends for 2023, and here's what they said. And here in
Gotcha.
Springfield, we're not seeing that because of A, B, C, D, E.
And just commentating on it. How do you feel about putting kind of pricing or example pricing on a website? Do you encourage your Dream Maker franchisees to do that? What's been your take on that?
Some have done it, some have not. I like the idea of anchoring prices. I usually won't put it on a website, but I'll do it on a social media post. So you can
Okay,
show a beautiful bathroom transformation. It could be a hall bath, and you can show again it's the grid of photos after photos, so you might have 6 photos with different angles, and you can say all of this was for under $30,000. So that's an anchor. So it's not under 30,000. So you use price as an anchor in social media and let people comment from there. So that has
gotcha.
worked
And
well.
and why do you not necessarily want to put that right on the website? Any thoughts on
There
that?
are some remodelers that do it. The reason I don't like it on the website is competitors will take advantage of it and share links or screenshots and say, look, they can do it for this. We do it for,
Hmm.
20% less. And we offer the same. And you
Gotcha.
and I know it's never apples to apples. Different people. You got certified kitchen designers, bath designers, architects on staff. You got design centers. You've got, it's never apples to apples.
Yep, I got you. Cool. And then that second part, marketing tech. What kind of technology should remodelers be looking at when it comes to helping with their marketing? What comes
I
to mind for
love,
that?
yeah, I love, the project management platforms. I like Open AI, so you can plug in or Open APIs, so you can plug in things. There's some great chat and not chat text platforms that I think are terrific. I'm a big fan of Hatch. I think whoever's answering the phone could just kind of manage everything through Hatch. In the home, I like Engage. I think that's great. CRM platforms, whichever one you pick. There's some that are extremely robust, like Salesforce.coms. There's some, many that are industry specific that are also very good. It's not enough to have them. You really need to fully embrace them and use all of their features. Because I've seen people say, "Oh, we've got." Again, I don't want to mention any specific CRMs. We've got the CRM and it doesn't give us everything that we want. And then you dive a little deeper, and they're just not using anything related to lead nurturing. So
Hmm.
everybody is treated the same way. All the reports are the same. It's kind of like eh. But there's some great marketing tech, chat, texting, lead nurturing. I love the lead
What
nurturing.
does engage? What does engage do?
Engage
You said,
does in home presentations. So everything is, it's almost like a PowerPoint, but it's kind of scripted. So for those people that have multiple, like bigger sales teams, you can control the presentation overall. You also get great reports from it. So it'll tell you how much time people are spending on a specific slide. So if people aren't spending a lot of time building value on the company and are jumping all the way to price or scope of work or examples or reviews, you get reports on that. So that's very cool. Engage is
hmm.
Ingage. So it's yeah, it's a pretty cool platform overall. And then all the review platforms are amazing. At Dreammaker,
And
we
then
use
what's
Soci,
one of their little technology
SOCI.
items?
So it's a great, just absolutely fabulous platform that allows you to schedule and look at analytics across Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, all under one platform. So it's really great. And it even
What?
allows
And that one's called what?
Soci, SOCI. So our Dreammaker franchisees use that. It also allows you to
Got it.
respond to reviews on it too, and it has some canned responses, about 20, or at least we have them for our franchisees, 20 or 30 canned responses that you can select or start editing from. When you get a great review, you want to respond to those
Yeah.
reviews, and certainly when you get a not so great review, and it could be product satisfaction or service or communication, it has some examples. Again, don't copy and paste it, but at least some prompts, then make it your own
Get you
and
going.
then post it.
And
Yeah,
if
so
I
social.
and if I were to say, well, cool. If I were to say, Joaquin, you got 100 reviews, and you can distribute them amongst the interwebs, where would you want those 100 reviews to be showing up on?
I want
You
them
know what I
on,
mean?
yeah, I probably want 80% of them on Google, maybe 20% on Facebook. Those are probably the two that I want.
Hmm.
Good question.
Yeah, that's kind of I was I was wondering. I was wondering if you're that's similar for me. Cool. So two more questions. I want to talk about Dreammaker here a little bit, but before I do that, do you have any Are you much of a prognosticator? Do you have any predictions of what we're going to be seeing the second half of 2023?
Yeah, a very smart friend of mine, told me something, so I'm going to take it from him, from Mark. He was like,
Okay.
my prediction for 2023 is that it's going to be unpredictable. So I think
Oh,
that's a good prediction. I don't know. The Fed has been doing some crazy things. Inflation has been a little crazy. The labor market is very tight, and to some point we need it to loosen. Housing inventory continues to be very low. Prices have stabilized, so it's just going to be interesting. So
hmm,
it's at Dreammaker we're taking the approach of back to basics. So we're out of COVID. So we need to sharpen our saws from a marketing and sales standpoint. So we're going back and spending a lot of time with franchisees is let's make sure we don't forget about the basics. And it was easy to get to forget about the basics through COVID because the phone was ringing, people were signing contracts left and right, and our biggest challenge was lead times with the
Yep.
supply chain. So just going back to basics, watching the numbers and taking it day by day, month by month, and quarter by quarter.
Yeah. Watch and when I think of back to the basics, watching our numbers, tracking where our leads are coming from,
Yes.
making sure we are using a good solid CRM and following up well with our leads. That's a little bit
Yeah.
of sales, not just marketing. Make sure we're staying in touch with our previous clients, people that already know, like, and trust us, securing Google reviews, continuing to be consistent with content creation, developing strategic partners that can refer us, and the content, that big area of content, and our website. I think that's one of the big takeaways I had from you. Just that reminder of, don't just share basic bland stuff. Stories, stories, stories. We resonate
Yes.
as humans, with stories. So make sure that gets back to basics there of stories, stories, stories. So Joaquin, I was a astute listener when you started this, and you said, I've got a couple different jobs. One job is to support our existing franchisees. One part is kind of the branding side, but the other part I did hear you say, is marketing towards potential new franchisees. So if you want to just share a little bit about that, and kind of, if somebody's like, what, I've heard of them before, I wouldn't mind talking to somebody, or even sharing a little bit of, how does Dreammaker support the franchisees on the marketing side?
Oh my gosh, on the marketing side, it is amazing what we do. So to take a step back, we our franchisees are almost 50-50 split. So 50% of them are people that have never been involved in the industry. They might be an engineer, they might be an attorney that has sawdust in their veins and really loves remodeling. So some of them are startups, as we call them. The other half are conversions, people that have an existing remodeling business, and it's we hear this all the time. It's like you're a remodeler and you're thinking to yourself, there's got to be a better way. We
Hmm.
figured that out. Dreammaker, it's like, oh my gosh. And again, not just marketing, sales, technology, production, communication, soup to nuts, the whole ball wax, everything all together. On the marketing side, really excited. We use we call them the 5 pillars of marketing, and every conversation we have with franchisees, we go through to make sure that we hit those 5 pillars. Pillar number one is digital marketing. So, all things digital, including social media. And again, they're not in any order. Pillar number two is what we call face to face marketing. So, we do a lot of seminars, a lot of home shows, a lot of
Hmm.
handshakes, because guess what? People buy from people. Pillar number three is the tangible consumer presence. Dreammaker franchisees have design centers in retail locations that are very visible with kitchen and bath vignettes. Pillar number four is the client experience. We want to make sure we get 5 stars. It's all about past clients and referrals. And pillar number five is traditional marketing. It's the direct mail, print ads, PR, all of those things. So we have them focus on all those 5 pillars, and the marketing plan just kind of feeds into that, and we just keep pounding, 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 pounding to grow as big as they want to go. So that's
Cool.
our approach.
That was a smooth, solid approach. Cool. So I think the way I'd like to wrap it up would be, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how can they connect with you? And also for each of us to kind of share, hey, if you heard nothing else from what we just shared here, what was it? I'll let you. How can people get a hold of you? And then, hey, if you heard nothing else, here's what I want you to hear. I'll let you do that, and then I'll close us out.
LinkedIn is probably the easiest way to get a hold of me. Probably an unusual name, so if you go to the little search bar and type in Joaquin Erazo, I'm going to show up. I'm pretty active on LinkedIn, so that's the easiest way to reach me. And what was your other question?
Joaquin. That's how you
Yeah.
spell it. And then the other question is, hey, if they heard nothing else from what you just shared on this topic, I want you to make sure you heard this key thought. What comes to mind for that?
Focus on a niche. At Dreammaker, there's a reason we're called Dreammaker Bath and Kitchen. That is our
Mhm.
niche. Kitchens and bathrooms are hot. I don't see that going away. People love, and they go out of style pretty quickly. So we're doing it. You're doing it as as remodelers on the rise. Focus specific on the niche
Yep.
of remodelers. You're doing it great. So it works. So that's the one big takeaway that I would encourage everybody to walk away with.
Cool. I like it. And then mine. Well, I'm debating between the two. The stories one, but I feel like we've emphasized that enough. People got that point. My big takeaway is you can't be lethargic when it comes to marketing. We
Yeah.
don't know what the upcoming months and upcoming year is going to be, but we need to get re-engaged in marketing. It is when you have leads, when you're not desperate for leads, that is a wonderful time to be
Yes.
marketing, to be testing different marketing vehicles, etc. So make time. Maybe the action step for some of you is, all right, I need to schedule a meeting, a marketing meeting with the key people that are involved in that at my company, or even just a meeting for you, and kind of saying, all right, what are my next steps, what are the next right things, or even next right thing to do related to marketing, and make that part of your week in and week out. Do not become lethargic with it. Cool.
Awesome.
Joaquin, we did a nice job focusing on some very practical, wonderful tips for remodelers when it comes to their marketing. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your expertise.
Thank you for having me, Kyle.
All right, we'll talk again soon.
All right. Bye.